Today, we want to bring attention to the people about a fraud alert that is going on with a company by name Apex IT System, Inc. And this is located at Middletown, Delaware. There are a lot of people who have obtained letters for the employment for $200, and they have used this for the OPT. And USCIS now is denying the STEM extensions. It's also denying the H-1Bs linked to the company. So if anybody who is linked with Apex IT Systems, Inc., and it is located in Middletown, Delaware, please don't get confused. There may be other good Apex companies, though. We're only speaking of Apex IT Systems, Inc., which is located in Middletown, Delaware. Emily, why don't you tell me what's going on this company?
Yeah, so it kind of came out of the woodwork recently as we're getting consultations and people calling us, reporting that they're getting RFEs, denials. This is on OPT STEM extensions, on H-1B petitions that they filed. And these are people who are no longer with this company. They're with legitimate company now, filed their STEM extension as they normally would, and get a request for evidence asking for documentation that they've maintained their F-1 status and never exceeded the unemployment days that you're allowed on F-1 OPT. So this usually requires them to submit their I-20s. Sometimes they'll have to submit the 983 training plan, but then they have to provide documentation that they actually worked for these companies. So they'll provide an offer letter. Under normal circumstances, they would provide pay statements, employment verification letter, W-2, all these sorts of things. But in this case, the people never actually worked there. So all they're able to provide is an offer letter. And so USCIS has dug into this company, Apex IT System, Inc., in Middletown, Delaware, and found that it is not a valid company. It's not actually providing any kind of practical training to these workers. And, the first thing I do when I hear about these situations is just Google the address. So I just copied and pasted the address directly from the offer letter somebody received. This goes back to 2020. This is not something that just started. It's just USCIS is just now catching on. But I have an offer letter that was issued in 2020 to someone. I Googled the address. Instantaneously, I can see that this address comes up as a FedEx authorized ship center. That tells me that they're using a PO box as a virtual address. That's a big no-no. The company doesn't actually exist. So, you've learned through your consultations, it sounds like that the owners of the company or the people operating this are not even in the United States. Is that right?
That's right, Emily. Based on my initial, when I spoke with like 7-8 people, though, I get an idea that this is not a sting operation, but it is actually from people from India are operating this company. Now, there was a company called Integra that we reported about 3-4 years ago. Integra Solutions and Wireclass, and there was other company, I forgot it. AZTech company. These are the companies that were fraudulent. Approximately around thousands and thousands of people were involved in. The Immigration Custom Enforcement did publish the information in the USCIS, in their ICE website. They published the employers, though. They stopped publishing these employers. We don't know with this Apex IT Systems, Inc., is it thousands of people, hundreds of people? As of now, we got contacted by about 10 to 15 people. I spoke personally with some of those people, and I'm about to speak with some of the people. But is it involved thousands of people? We don't know yet. But the USCIS has targeted this company since when the OPT person reports any employer, it goes into the service system. That employer goes into the service system. The allegation what they're making is that these people never got trained by the company. These people may have paid money for the company to issue the employment letter. Now, when I get the people like this, there are a couple of questions that pops up from the clients, Emily, and I want your answers to it. The typical question that I get Emily, is, hey, since it's an E-verified company, why can't I trust it? I trusted it. Why should I be punished? Why should my STEM extension be denied?
Yeah, so EVerify means nothing when it's talking about whether the company is actually providing training or has training available to someone on OPT. It is very simple for a company to register in the United States. They just file articles of incorporation with their state. They file a request for a tax ID number with the federal government, with the IRS. Boom, they're in business. And then if they to be able to help their STEM OPT extensions, they register with EVerify. All they have to do with EVerify is provide the company name, company address, who is going to be signing documents, and sign a memorandum of understanding confirming that they agree to use the EVerify system. That's it. That's all they're doing when they're registered and, legitimate in EVerify. All that means is the company has agreed to use EVerify. That doesn't mean that they're actually using it at all or that they're actually using it properly. All they're doing is registering in this system to get an EVerify number so that they can give to these students who are filing for their STEM OPT extension, because you need to provide that your company's number in the application. So EVerify, being an EVerify company, does not mean anything in terms of how legitimate the company is and whether they can actually provide the practical training that they're offering to you. It's just the company agreeing on some government website that, yeah, we'll use the EVerify system whenever we hire people. There's not even any monitoring of the system to verify that the company's actually using it when they do hire people. EVerify is an online version of the I-9 form that everybody has to fill out when they start a new job in the United States to prove who they are and to prove that they're authorized to work. It just takes that on I-9 form and puts it online and runs it through the government database to confirm that that person actually is authorized to work. There is no digging into the background of the company. It's not any kind of background check of the company. There's no follow-up to make sure the company is actually using it properly. So just because a company has an EVerify number, that means nothing except that they are authorized to, sign the 983 form, assuming that they're a legitimate company and are actually offering some kind of training.
I mean, last time we had this issue with Immigrants as a company, though. People were being barred forever coming back into the United States because the USCIS or the State Department, what they said was that these individuals have submitted fraudulent or illegal documents in obtaining the immigration benefits, which is a lifetime ban that they can never come back into the United States. There is a waiver which is available, but it's very hard to apply. Now, at this point of time, I have not seen the USCIS or the State Department issuing the lifetime ban, but is there a possibility for these people also to get it there?
Absolutely. I mean, what we found with the Integra, AZ Tech, Wire Class, and other of these kind of blacklisted companies is the employee student, as part of F-1 requirements, has to update the SEVP portal or has to inform their school what company that they're working for. They're providing this information to the school. So they tell the school, yep, I got an offer from Apex IT System Inc. I'm going to start working for them next week. Guess where that information goes? Directly into ICE. ICE is the government agency, that's Immigration Customs Enforcement. ICE is responsible for the entire F-1 visa program. And so whenever you're providing this information to your school, whether you're doing it yourself through the SEVP portal or you're providing the information to your DSO, it's going directly into this ICE database. And you better believe that they're tracking that. And so it's very easy when you're later going for stamping for a consular officer to see that your name has been flagged because you have an I-20 from 4 years ago that listed Apex IT System as the employer. Even more so if you didn't list that company on your DS-160 when you were applying for your new visa, thinking that, oh, I never actually worked for that company. I, have a great job now. I'm working with Coca-Cola or whatever. It doesn't bother me now. Absolutely false. They go back and they look at all of that information. It's readily available to CBP officers at the port of entry, to consular officers, and to USCIS when they're looking at future H-1B petitions, when they're looking at STEM extensions.
Emily, the question that also pops up is that, hey, I didn't know that paying the money is illegal. Why should I be punished for it? I didn't know that it was.
That would mean a murderer could say, hey, I didn't know murdering someone was illegal. If I didn't know, I can't be punished, right? No, that's no defense. It's your job to know the law, and it's your job to know when you're doing something that violates the law. Ignorance is no defense, unfortunately.
Some of the tips that I want to give it to the people who wants to get employed with any company, please, if you get associated with the wrong company, you'll be punished very severely. First thing that you need to check into, just Google it, guys. Come on. You guys are the new world. I mean, I came when there was no internet, guys. I became a lawyer. So you guys have Google. Just Google it, guys. When you are joining a company, just Google it. I Google, even if I have to go to a restaurant, I go Google it and find out if it's a good one or not. Where is it, location it is. Please Google it. Look at the address. Type in the address, though. It will pop out the information. If it pops out 500 employees are at that company, at that address, that it means it's a PO box. You can look into it. That's one thing that I suggest all the people to look into. Second thing is that for OPT, though, technically a training is required. You don't have to be paid for that particular time. Try to find some internships that you can get in the relevant field from a proper companies where you don't have to get paid, especially in the OPT period, though. And if you don't get it, though, don't submit the fraudulent documents. Leave the country, that's fine. Or join the college one more time if you want to. But if you submit these kind of things, though, you are going to get a lifetime ban. You get associated with these companies, you have a chance of getting lifetime ban. As we have seen in Integra and we have seen AZTech. How else they can find out they're fraudulently?
Yeah, I mean, we use myvisajobs.com. It's a publicly available website. They take the information directly from the Department of Labor's LCA and Green Card labor certification database, and they just put it in a more user-friendly format. So you can enter the company's name there and see how many LCAs have they submitted in the last year, every year. Did they go from 0 LCAs in 2023 to 200 LCAs in 2024? That may be a red flag. Very unusual for a company to grow that quickly in 1 year. It's possible, but that's definitely a red flag. And then look at when you get that information in that system, you can click on it to see the LCAs. You don't get all of the information, but you can see the work location listed on the LCAs. If every single 200 LCAs lists Middletown, Delaware as the work location, that tells me that this company is trying to use a in-house project to file H-1Bs when there is no in-house project. It doesn't exist. It's fake. That is going to get you into trouble. The other thing you can look at is USCIS. They still have their H-1B employer data hub. So you can search for the employer name there and see how many actual H-1B petitions they've filed over the years, how many got approved, how many got denied. What else can you look at? I mean, as you mentioned, back when we first started looking for jobs, we had to go in person to the company, have an interview with real live people. It was very easy for us to determine whether a company existed or not because we're going to their office and seeing all their other employees. I know in this day and age, it's a completely different world. Everyone's doing everything virtually. But if your only contact with the company is through WhatsApp and you're doing your interview on WhatsApp and you have, just go to their LinkedIn. Are they even in the United States, these people that you're talking to? Do they even have a LinkedIn? Is it their even real name? You've got to do some digging, just like you would do digging for a future boyfriend or girlfriend. You all, look on social media and try to see some background information. You've got to do that for your company too. And
the other thing is that when you're calling the phone, though, Is it ringing in India? Because Indian ring is a little bit different. Most of the people who call Indian phone numbers will understand the ring there is a little bit different. So try to determine if they are here, if they're in India though. And also speak with them to see what they are, how they behave, how they speak. Do they have knowledge about the particular subject? Do they really have a company? Are they telling that they don't have a company? They're going to just send a PDF to you. And that is what happened with the Aztec and Integra. And the same thing is happening with Apex IT systems right now, Emily. Could it be that the same operators are operating in this one, Emily?
Absolutely. It would not surprise me at all, because that's kind of the what we see all the time is when a company gets caught, they just shut down the company and open up another one. And they do the exact same thing. And they just keep doing it and doing it because it takes time for the immigration service to catch up and realize what's happening. And so they just keep playing whack-a-mole trying to get all of these companies. But yeah, it absolutely could be the same people behind this.
And we want people to be very careful now. Right now, it is Apex IT System Inc. in Delaware. It could be a different company tomorrow. It could be a different place. You need to be aware of these things. Buyer be aware. That's what we call in Latin. I forgot the Latin word that they taught us in the law school. But buyer be aware is the word that you need to be aware of these things, where you're joining, what kind of company it is. So just Google it out, try to inquire about it before you join any company. And if any of you people got affected with this company though, Apex IT Systems Inc. in Middletown, Delaware, please contact an immigration lawyer immediately to try to look into if there are any solutions, what are the alternative things, plan A, plan B. It's better be prepared for those things. Sometimes there may not be any solution though. I mean, it's not like you go to a lawyer, the lawyer will miraculously clear up all the problems and give you a solution. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for, at least for this case. At least you'll be able to find what the reality is so that you can plan your life accordingly. Anything else, Emily?
Nope, that's all I've got.
Thank you guys for tuning in.